wanting to know, what steps would it be if I just decided to walk away. She's a good guy. I just want to make sure my last years on this life is happy.
Yeah,
And I'm not happy. Being alone is okay.
mhm.
Get a guy and rotate them both, but it'll be okay.
What?
You come on Thursday, you come on Friday. Why are you here? It's not your day. We can do that.
Let's bring up Miss Lizzie. We got Miss Lizzie in the house. How you doing? Miss Lizzie, it looks like you are muted.
I'm doing okay.
Good. Well, thank you for coming up, Miss Lizzie. What questions do you got for your boy?
I'm just calling you because I've been married for 36 years.
Wow.
36 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're just different.
Yeah.
He's apples, I'm oranges.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been married. We got married in California.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to move to Texas. I don't want to move to Texas. We're just different. And I just wanted to know, what steps would it be if I just decided to walk away?
Yeah. 36 years in the game. That's a long time. I would
Yeah.
imagine you guys don't have any minor kids.
Our kids are grown.
Okay. Do y'all have a lot of property or just like a house? Or y'all got like
We have two houses, one in California, one in Texas. We just recently bought a house in Texas.
Oh, so you bought the house. So he's already looking to move, huh? That's why you got that house out there or what?
Yeah, but I don't want to go.
Yeah, I hear you.
So this lady been married to her husband for 36 years, and he wants to move to Texas. I'm going to take a real good guess why he want to move to Texas to get out of the state of California. Because the state of California is expensive as hell. Have you seen the gas out there? It's like $6, $7 a gallon. I don't even live in California. I live on the East Coast, but I've been out there. It is crazy. Cost of living is absolutely ridiculous. I can see why this man want to move to Texas.
Well, the fact that you guys don't have any minor kids makes things a lot easier. It'll be just a divorce, and it'll just be splitting up any assets and any debts that you guys have. Now, back in the day, you used to have a reason as to why you wanted to get married. Now you don't. So if you go and hire an attorney and just say, hey, I want to get divorced. I'm sorry, did I say married? You can get divorced for any reason now. So you don't need to specify anything. Just say, I want to get divorced. And if you file it, the judge is going to approve it. So it's not like he has to agree to a divorce. So all you would need to do is go talk to an attorney. Now, y'all do have, a couple of houses. Those kind of need to be split up. If y'all have other assets like a bank account, savings account, y'all been married for a long time. So I don't know if there's any like retirement in there that might need to be divided. Credit cards, things of that nature. A lot of people have vehicles. Those need to be accounted for.
So listen to the lead going down all this long list of stuff that needs to be divided because she's not happy. She don't want to move to Texas. She wants to file for divorce after 36 freaking years. I mean, we tell guys all the time, try to vet women, try to, go through, a few seasons, see how they are and pay attention to their actions, not so much their words. Pay attention to their behavior and things like that. See if y'all gel, see if y'all compatible, see if y'all can go the distance to where death really does you part. But how do you know down the line, 36 years later, that she's going to go rogue on you? Are there signs early? Probably so, but 36 years down the line and she wants to file for divorce because she don't simply want to move to Texas? Man, there's a lot more to the story. We're going to keep on going into it.
But it doesn't really sound like too terrible of a divorce. It kind of sounds a little straightforward. You're saying that he doesn't want to get divorced, or have you talked to him about this?
I kind of mentioned it.
I kind of mentioned it. All right, so I'm gonna say it.
No, I actually told him, that I wanted a divorce, but he's a good guy. He's not.
What?
Wait. First you said you kind of mentioned it, and now you're saying that you told him. See, guys,
Yeah,
which one is
yeah, I did. I was like, angry, but you say stuff in angry moment.
it?
But
I don't know if y'all heard that real quick. She said he's a good guy. She said he's a good guy. He's a good man. He's a good husband. Yet she wants to divorce him. Where is? I'm not happy. What? Come on now. After 36 years, just simply because you don't want to move to a cheaper state, a lower cost of living to the state of Texas. I mean, I'm sorry. Let's be honest. Who can truly afford to live in California nowadays? I mean, hell, the whole West Coast, Washington State, Oregon, California, the whole West Coast. I ain't even going to mention Hawaii. Oh my God. The whole West Coast is just expensive as hell to live in. The homeless population is ridiculous out there. And yet this lady's upset because she don't want to move to Texas. I mean, maybe she got family out there. Maybe she is comfortable in California. Maybe, she's got a lot of ties in California. We going to find out why she don't want to go to Texas. We going to find out.
I'm older, you know what I mean? And I've done, and he's retired Navy, retired personal service. He's a good guy. It's just that we're different. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my last years to be, you know, not
Yeah.
if you don't have communication, you pretty don't have pretty much anything.
Right.
You don't have communication. So, he has his, I followed him through all his career, and he's my mom gave us a house in California, so I'm here. He doesn't like California. He's Texas. He's from Dallas, born and raised. I met him in San Francisco. He wants to move back there. I went there for a month, and it's just not my vibe. We've been
Mm-hmm.
here for 20 years. He wants to move. We're trying to sell the house here, and I just think, I just need to make sure my last 15 years on this earth is happy. You know what I mean?
I'm not happy. She wants to leave her good husband after 36 years. They lived in California for 20 years. I think he's at a breaking point. It's like, look, I, as the head of the family, I, as the husband, I, as the leader of this family, I have weighed all of this. I am not making this as a rash decision. I'm pretty sure this man is in his latter 50s or 60s. He is well knowledge about how to lead his family. And he thinks that him moving back to where he is from, he knows that area, damn sure know the cost of living out there, and figures that okay, it would be better for us to sustain our lives by moving the hell out of the state of California, like so many other people are doing, and going to Texas. I mean, it's a little bit warmer, lower cost of living, but your money can stretch so much farther in the state of Texas. Like, man, follow your husband. You've been following him all this time for your life. You making it such a big deal now to follow him to Texas? Now this is the breaking point. Now all of a sudden you want to leave this man because you're not happy?
So I did say, hey, you're not doing what I want to do. We're not doing anything too much together. You're here, I'm there. Let's just, separate. And he's fine. He's like, I don't know what the problem is, but I just want to make sure my last years on this life is happy.
Yeah,
And I'm not happy. So maybe it's just me, but I'm not happy.
yeah. A lot of times it's like that. It's just you, and that's important. Your everybody's happiness is important. When you're saying that he's just fine in the relationship, he's just fine in the marriage, that's so many men. So many men can relax, and once they get married, they've got their family. Y'all have had kids. The kids are grown. Now y'all are together, and you're just relaxing. You're getting older. The energy isn't where it used to be. So everybody kind of wants to calm down. And a lot of men can be fine in a kind of a lukewarm marriage, let's say, a kind of stable marriage, not a lot of fireworks. And a lot of times women are not really, they don't want to settle for that. They're married, and they got the family thing going on. But of course they also want to maximize their happiness, right? This is what you're saying. You want to be happy. You're kind of going into the fourth quarter of your life. Hopefully we all kind of make it there. We live a long life. and you look down the road and you're like, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be, and he's okay, he's satisfied, but I'm not satisfied.
Let me say this. Lead is such a professional. Brother, I got to give it to you. You are such a professional. If this was Kevin Samuels, this would be a whole nother way of thinking. This would be a whole nother way of talking. His reaction to this lady would be completely different. Ma'am, you are, going toward the fourth quarter of your life. You are going to just up and leave your husband, so you're going to live on your own? I don't know. Have you had a job? Have you had any marketable skills? Are you able to take care of yourself? Has your husband been paying all the bills this whole time? Like, what is it? What is the reason you think in your mind that now is the time to leave your husband? Because your kids are grown and it's a lot easier? Okay, but like, you just gonna just be by yourself this whole time? You just gonna just live out the rest of your days alone? Or you think you can just find another man to pick up where your husband left off after 36 years? So, man, it sounds like you just want to leave without any kind of plan for your own life. You just want to leave simply because you're not happy. Well, sit down and talk to your husband. Do some couples counseling or something, or just get over the fact that you moving to freaking Texas and just live with it. Just deal with it. I mean, it's not like this man is trying to gamble the house away or is, filing for bankruptcy or something like that. He wants to move his family to a better, more stable living environment because California is just so out of control right now. He's like, okay, I grew up in Texas. I still got family down there. We're going to move down there. Already got the house. Already planned all this stuff out. She said it herself. This man already has a house in Texas. He's trying to sell the house in California. He is doing this in a calculated way. He's just not just doing this off of some ad lib or just trying to freestyle. No, he had planned this out. He planned this out, like, carefully, just doing everything he can to make this a smooth transition. Probably already got the movers in place and some other plans. He's trying to sell the house in California. He's making sure that when his family moves to Texas, that they have a stable living, that there's a roof over their head. So all they got to do is just drive down there or whatever, and then turn the key, open the damn door, go in there and go to sleep. That's his plan, to make it as smooth as possible. But still, you're not happy. Still, you have to be upset. Still, you want to leave your husband because what? Come on now.
I think you really summed it up well when you said, you're just not happy, right? It's not like y'all are beating on each other. Nobody's, doing anything crazy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good. Listen, man, and shout out to you for acknowledging that he's a good guy. Y'all raised beautiful kids. They're adults. They're doing their thing. He's a good guy. He's married. He's living up to all of his obligations.
This man is a good guy. This is probably the third or fourth time she has said that. This man is a good guy. He is doing everything a good husband can do, and yet still she wants to divorce this man because I'm not happy. Okay, lady. Like Lee said, she didn't come up in here saying there's any kind of violence involved. She doesn't fear for her life. He's not a raging alcoholic. He ain't smoking crack rock. He ain't trying to gamble the house away. None of those things. Nothing that no one would encourage her to divorce her husband for. She simply wants to leave for irreconcilable differences. I'm not happy. Guys hear this stories like this, and it's like, how can we live in a place where people actually stay in their vows? Yes, there are times where you have a strong case to file for divorce. People encourage you. But for stuff like this, after 36 years, he ain't out here slanging and banging a bunch of women out here. Well, at least she doesn't mention anything like that. She just wants to just up and leave this man. So what? Her plan is to divorce her husband, take half of everything, and then just stay in the state of California and do what? How are you going to live, ma'am? How are you going to survive? How is income going to come into the house? Oh, but do you expect your husband to pay alimony? Is that what you plan on living off of, his alimony? So you're going to leave him, take half of everything. half the house in California, half the house in Texas, half his pension, half of everything, and still get alimony? Is that your plan? They got married in the state of California. Oh, it's been 36 years. There is no cap on any alimony or whatever. So she can just take as much as she can per the family court laws in California. Listen to your husband, fall under the leadership of your husband, and just move down to California. Why you got to make this such a big deal? You know what? I bet you she is the kind of woman that's always, got a problem with something, always so rah-rah about something. She seems like the woman that always wants to express her opinion, always want to, complain about something or whatever. Like, ma'am, just listen to your husband. Or if you decide to divorce him, if you decide to divorce your husband, don't complain out here how it's so hard to live in California. I hope you got some family out there to help you out because, ma'am, in all likelihood, you will not find another husband, especially one that can take care of you in the state of California. I'm sorry, you will not.
And you're just not happy anymore, right?
All right. But is it selfish of me? Or,
yes.
I mean, because, I always supported him in everything that he's done, and I never like, I've always paid the bills. I pay all the bills. I pay everything.
What?
I make sure everything's taken care of. With this house, the remodeling, I found all I do everything, pretty much on the business aspect because, I know how to take care of it because my mom.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Wait. Okay. Let's kind of take it step by step now. Are you guys living together or y'all are not living together?
No, we're in the same household. Yes.
You're in the same household. You're in the same
yes.
household. Now you say that you pay all the bills.
I pay all the bills as far as taking the money out of the account, paying them.
Okay. Who puts the money into the account?
He does.
Okay. So he makes the money and then you take the money and you pay the bills.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you admit.
So the way she misconstrued that whole thing, the way she said it was like, "Oh, I pay all the bills." Like he don't do shit. Like he just sit on his ass all day, watch ESPN, and she just go out there, she make the money, she pay all the bills. That's the way that she said this initially. So it was very misconstrued. Man, he makes all the money. It probably goes into a joint account, and you use that money in the joint account to pay the mortgage, to pay the light bill, and all this other kind of stuff. Technically, you are not paying for anything. He is paying the bills. He is making the money. He is bringing the income into the household. You are just an administrator of the bills. How about that? You don't pay the bills. You are an administrator of the bills because he pays the bills. Let's just get that straight.
Administrate the bills. Okay, and that's important. And honestly, guys, that's how it was way back in the day. In the 70s and 80s and the 60s, a man would come home and give the whole check to the woman. The woman be waiting there, on payday. This was before direct deposit, and he used to get those checks, and he'd take it straight from the plant, take it home, and bring it to the woman, and she would go cash it and do her thing. So this is not uncommon where you have a marriage and one person kind of makes the money and one person spends it. Although when you say that you pay all the bills, it can kind of,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you have, let's say you have your role as well.
Yes,
now,
sir.
You ask, is it selfish? Right?
Yes.
You ask, is it selfish?
It is.
Yes, sir.
And to be honest, it is selfish. It is. Now, just because something is selfish doesn't mean that it's wrong, right?
Okay.
When babies are 6 months and they're hungry and they're screaming, that's a selfish act. These 6-month-olds, they don't care who they're waking up. They want to eat, right? And a lot of that can be selfish. Apparently.
I'm sorry, but this is selfish of her. This is very selfish of her. After 36 years, you've been following your husband. 36 years, you've been supporting your husband. 36 years, you have allowed your husband to pay all the bills and be a stay-at-home mom or whatever, stay-at-home wife. And now you just want to after 36 years, you want to take half of everything, half of the house in California, half of house in Texas, half of everything, and break up your family, break up everything that your husband has built up to 36 years, break up everything that this man has built to take care of his family because you're not happy because you don't want to move to Texas? Man, get out of here with this mess. This is ridiculous. This is selfish. This is absolutely 100% selfish. I mean, there's no way around it. This is selfish. There is no real reason why you should want to file for divorce simply off of this. And remember, this is a good guy. This is a good guy, a good husband.
It's looking like we're going to go into World War III next week. And there's probably some selfishness on both of those sides. Humans have the capacity to be selfish, and we're all selfish at times.
Okay.
So just because you act selfishly is not necessarily a bad thing, because if we're honest, we all do. But, a lot of men look at this and they say, wow, a lot of men, younger men, they want to get married, and they're good men. There are a lot of men who don't want to get married, and some of these men are not good men. Good men, let's say, right? Some of these men should not be married. There are a lot of men who are good men that don't want to be married, but most men who want to get married are kind of good men, and they kind of want what your husband had. They want to have a family, they want to have some kids, they want to raise them up, give those kids a good start, and then once the kids are out of the house, relax with their wife and be good. And you say that he's
Yeah, a lot of guys, when they think about getting married, they think about having a lovely wife, having 2 or 3 kids, something like that. The white picket fence, the big house or whatever, and raising your kids, being a family, doing family things. And then when the kids get older, a husband and wife, they still together. They can finally go out and do what they want to do, walk around the house butt ass naked, travel, do whatever. But she is now ruining the image of that. She said the kids are grown, so it's just them two. So she is now destroying the image of everything that her husband has built. And suddenly just want to just cut everything in half and go about their separate ways. This is selfish. This is completely selfish.
satisfied in the relationship, and you say that he's a good man. And so he's kind of where a lot of young men these days want to be. But then we look down the road and the wife isn't necessarily happy 36 years in. And a lot of men are just like, oh, what do we have to do to kind of, make things right? But, his whatever he does at the end of the day, he cannot control your happiness, right?
That's right.
Only you can control your happiness.
Fellas, listen to me carefully. You are not responsible for your wife's happiness. You are not responsible for their happiness. Each person is responsible for their own happiness. There is absolutely no way that she should rely on you to make her 100% happy all the time, because that is impossible. That is way too much responsibility for one person to take on. You cannot have one person solely responsible for your happiness. So every decision that you make, everything that you do, the way that you go about your day to day, going to work, coming home, whatever you're doing, if she is not happy, it's your fault? No, she's responsible for her own happiness. Now, you do things to make her happy. Maybe, y'all go out on a date, y'all go out on a trip or whatever, and maybe you buy her something, it's quality time, whatever her love languages are. But to say that he is responsible for her happiness, no, ma'am. No, you are not happy because it's something internal with you. It is not him. It's not this good guy. It's not this good husband. It is something in you that is causing you not to be happy, because apparently he's doing everything that he can, everything that a good husband can do, and yet still you are about to break this man's heart because you want to file for divorce.
And if you say that you're not happy with him, then that's a big issue, because, you really shouldn't stay in a situation where you're perennially unhappy. Now, I will say this, Michelle Obama, I know some of y'all in the chat don't like Obama. I get it. I see my man ABL. Shout out to Anthony Brian Logan. We got a big dog. ABL was in the chat. And Michelle Obama a few months ago was on some talk show, and she was saying that how she was unhappy with Obama for 10 years.
10 years.
Right? She didn't want to be with Obama. I mean, 10 years is a long time where she was unhappy with him.
And that was 10 years before he became president. So Michelle Obama was not liking Barack Obama for 10 years. 10 years. And guess what? A little bit after them 10 years, he became the president of the United States, the highest office in this country, arguably the most powerful person in the world. But if she had left that man within those 10 years, she never would have been there when he hit the peak of his career, the peak of his political career, so to speak. Because I'm not happy. Sometimes you have to just figure out why you're not happy and stop being mad at this other person because they aren't making you happy. It's something internal with you, or maybe it's the circumstances that you're dealing with, but not necessarily that person that's making you unhappy. Especially a person that's doing everything that they can, everything within their power to try to do things to make you happy. Again, they're not responsible for your happiness, but they are at least trying to do things to make you happy, to take care of you, to make you feel safe, to make you feel comfortable. But even still, sometimes it's not good enough. Even still, no matter how hard you try, sometimes you just can't get it right. Sometimes, no matter what you do, you cannot make her happy. She needs to go sit down, get some therapy, and figure out what makes her happy. In this case, this lady, ma'am, you probably need some therapy to figure out why you're not happy. And very likely the problem is not your husband. Or at least the vast majority of the problem is not your husband. You're a good husband. The husband that's been taking care of you for 36 years. The husband that's been there for 36 years. Been there for you. Now you want to leave him. I'm not happy. All right, later.
But, she kept it together, apparently, because, there was dedication and sacrifice and all that. Let me ask you, how long do you think you've been unhappy in your relationship with this good man?
With this good man?
I would say maybe the last 4 years.
Last 4 years?
Yeah.
Have y'all gotten any counseling, or is it just kind of beyond that? Kind of do you think there's a...
No, we haven't got any counseling. We just don't speak,
Oh, y'all don't speak? So
Well, maybe you should take your ass to counseling then. You haven't tried counseling. It doesn't sound like you're even trying to fight for your marriage. You're not even trying anything. You just don't talk. I don't know what his personality is. Maybe he's the kind of guy that shuts down. Maybe he's the kind of guy that's not so vocal. Maybe he doesn't like to argue. I mean, there's a lot of guys like that. It sounds like she's not even trying to fight for her marriage. She's like, oh, we don't just talk. No, we haven't been to counseling. Have you done anything? Have you done anything to fight for your marriage? Have you tried counseling? Have you tried taking some courses? Have you tried talking to other married people that's been through some hardships, that's been through some tough times? Have you tried anything to stay together, to stay with your husband? Come on, fight for your marriage.
Well, we speak, we talk, but, I don't know. I think maybe that's what I should try. We speak, but then we don't talk about we talk about business, and that's where I leave it,
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't talk about what I want to talk about.
What are some of the things? What are some of the things that you want to talk about?
Well, where we're going to go from here. I mean,
you're going to Texas.
I don't want to move to Texas. I lived there once, but it's cheaper, Liz. It's better. They don't tax my retirement. His family lives there. I have no family. They're very family oriented, which is a great.
Stop. Oh my God, ma'am, you are not making this any better. Oh my God. Your good husband has carefully planned this out. This is not just a knee-jerk reaction. He has been very thoughtful in this. What did she just say? I don't want to move to Texas. I've lived there once. Okay. He has family down there. He has a house down there for y'all to live in. You don't have any family. You have no ties to California anymore. You have no obligation to that state. Yes, okay, it's where you grew up at. Okay, fine. All right, cool. You can go back and visit, but Ma'am, for the betterment of the family, the husband is making a very tough decision, a very calculated decision to move out of the expensive ass state of California and move down to Texas. What did she say? Oh, they're not going to tax my pension. They're not going to tax me here and there because the state laws are different in Texas. The cost of living is different in Texas. Listen to your husband. Stop arguing with him. The more she talks, the more I just think that she's the problem, not her husband. I mean, I was already thinking that from the get-go. But, ma'am, you are not listening to your husband. You don't want to do anything to let him lead in this. You just want to just leave. This is why you should just submit to the leadership of your husband and allow him to lead the family, to take care of the family, because you are not able to make a strong decision. You just want to just up and leave because you're not happy. I'm sorry, nowadays, that's not a really good reason to leave a relationship. Have you tried to work it out? Have you tried anything? Don't just throw in the wet towel off of the first thing or because you haven't spoken in 4 years. Fight for your marriage. Try something. Move down to Texas. Apparently you think that just leaving him and living in the state of California, you'll be all right. If staying together with your husband was feasible, he wouldn't even thought about moving to the state of Texas. If staying in California would work out, why even bother moving to Texas at all? Because he sees the writing on the wall. He sees how everything is so expensive, and this is not sustainable for the family. So if it's not sustainable for you two to be together in California, how the hell are you going to stay in California by yourself? It's not going to work, ma'am. So if you really want to live the latter years of your life, the best thing for you to do is to move down to Texas with your husband, because it's very likely that you will struggle so much trying to live by yourself, being a divorcee in California. And then what? You're going to rely on your kids to help take care of you? You're going to move in one of your kids and be a burden to them? No, don't do that to your kids. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to them at all. They deserve to live their own lives, not have to take care of your mother, because whose job is that? Your husband. That's whose job it is to take care of you. Allow this man to take care of you like he's been doing for the past 36 years.
They're good people, but, it's hot. But he's like he said, we're retirement, we're on a fixed income. It's better for us to move there. And I'm like, I don't want to move to Texas. I love California, but it is getting higher here, and we are on a set income. So I do see what he's talking about, but I don't know. I'm loud, he's quiet. We're just the opposite. We are the opposite. I'm telling you, we are the total opposite. And
he probably saw this a long time ago with them being opposites, with her being loud, him being quiet, and she's likely the one that's always being argumentative, but he has just been living with her and her ways for so many years. He's kind of used to it. He's kind of numb to it. Fellas, if you are with a woman and she, early on, if you notice patterns where she's always arguing with you for no logical reason because she's not happy or she doesn't want to do something that makes perfect sense. She just said it herself. She ran down the whole list with everything makes sense, but still she doesn't agree with the decision. I mean, you cannot live with a person that's just so combative, that's just so disagreeable like this. You can't live that way. And if you do, it won't be a happy life, because you'll be just argued down into the dirt. Like she said, this man is the quiet type. He doesn't like to argue. He probably shuts down. Why? Because he don't want to deal with it. That's not his personality. But she's all rah-rah. She's all, loud. She likes to argue. She likes to go against the grain. She likes to complain about something. And this man has probably tried so much throughout their 36-year relationship to make her happy in different situations. And now here comes something else. Something that makes complete sense to her, but yet she still disagrees with it. How? How can you win? How can you win when, well, first of all, he has allowed this. He has allowed us to perpetuate for 36 years. So, brother, in this situation, you're kind of stuck with it. But for the guys that's dating out here, that's thinking about getting into a relationship, maybe thinking about marriage, this is something that you need to pay attention to. Is your woman disagreeable for no logical reason whatsoever? Because if she is, the relationship will not work. It is doomed to fail at some point. It may not be 36 years down the line, it may be 36 months down the line, but it is doomed to not work out if you are living and marrying a disagreeable woman. It will not work.
It's not up to him to make me happy. And I see that, I just sacrificed my whole life following him, whatever he wanted to do, making sure he was okay. And now it's like, it's my time and I'm not getting the same back. And it's like, what the? Come on, guy, come on.
Well, let's start from here now. You say that, y'all are opposites.
Yes.
You're loud and he's quiet. If we're going to be honest, y'all have been opposites during the whole marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, I mean, y'all have been opposites for 36 years, right? So maybe that's not a reason. And you're acknowledging that some of the reasons why he wants to move are valid in the sense that things are very, very high in California prices.
Yes.
Right? You know more than me. I've never lived in California. I've only been there a handful of times. Do you think that as prices rise, if you guys still live in California, the quality of your life will degrade? No.
My mortgage, we moved here in 2002. My garbage was $99. Now it's $199.
So she sees the price increases. She sees everything going up. She sees all this writing on the wall herself. He's explained this to her. He's broken it down. He's shown her the number. She just said it herself. She's seen the price of just garbage collection going up over the past 20 years. I get it, but now is at a point where it is not sustainable for the family, and the husband is making a calculated decision to move his family, you and him. Maybe it has something to do with the kids. I don't know, but at least move his family to a more sustainable place of living. And it's not just some other state, some foreign state where they don't know anybody, they're not familiar with the area. She said it earlier. She used to live in Texas where they want to go to. He has family down there. So it's not just some blind move to some random place. He's calculated all of this. And she sees the cost of living going up and up and up. And she's like, no, it's not sustainable. So again, she has no argument to say why she doesn't want to go to California, simply because she don't want to go.
Okay.
It's just everything's gone up,
Will it be harder for you guys to live in California?
Yeah, it is going to be. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason that he wants to move, I mean, financially, it makes sense. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But you're hesitant to move, number one, because of the weather, because it's so hot. Number two, you don't really have a social network there. You don't have any family ties there. So
no.
If you move to Texas, you would kind of be there by yourself. You don't really have a family network there.
No, just his family.
Okay.
Oh man, you don't have a family network in California either. You said it earlier. You don't have any family. You don't have any family in California, so what's tying you to California other than the fact that you grew up there? So whether you stay in California, move to Texas, you don't have any family of your original family. You have the family that you're married into. I mean, I'm sure they're very familiar with you after 36 years.
And they're nice. They're good people, but they kind of rely a lot on him for a lot of things, and that takes away from us. Let
me jump in because I see this a lot where you say that he has family and they rely on him. What you're specifically talking about is they rely on him financially, and so is that right?
I not much as financially, but more of a moral support. They're very close.
Let me jump in. You say they rely on him, and you say that takes away from you.
Yes, sir.
So how is it that they rely on him morally And how is them relying on them morally taking away from you?
Well, they call him for everything. They act like they don't know how to do things. They don't know how to like if something comes up, they'll call him all the way here and worry him and and ask him about his opinion. Like now he's there in Texas. He just went there. And when I call to speak with him about something, I'm like, how are you? What's going on? He goes, I'm at my mom's. We're moving stuff out. So I don't, they just kind of, he's learned to, he's a level-headed person, and some of them can't figure things out, so they'll call on him.
So you have a good husband who's taken care of you for 36 years, who pays the bills, who is responsible. His family heavily relies on him because he has a level head on his shoulders. He can make strong decisions. Sound like he's the patriarch of his family, and yet you think that leaving him is a good idea because you're not happy? Ah, come on, lady. Come on now. You are not making this any better. The more and more and more you talk, you're making it so much. You're making it sound so much worse for yourself.
7 for the littlest things on how to figure out how to do this, how to do that. And like in the morning, we get up. When I was there with him for a month, they called every day and they were like, are you going to come over? Are you going to do this? Can you fix this? Can you help us with this? And I'm like, you guys are all adults, kind of, you did, and he's like, well, I need to go to my mom's. Well, are we going to go to breakfast? What are we going to do today? Well, I need to go over there first,
When
and
was
I'm like,
when was
I
this?
didn't come here to sit in the house and not do anything, Jimmy. Come on, let's.
Maybe he is leaving and going to the state of Texas, not only to help his family, to help his mother, but maybe to get away from you a little bit because you said it yourself. You're loud, you're rah-rah, and he is more of a docile type. He doesn't like to argue. He shuts down. He don't want to deal with all that. So maybe he's just trying to get away from you and all of your flair, your anger, your wrath. Maybe that's also a reason why he's so quick to jump on a plane and go from California to Texas to kind of get away from all of that at home. I mean, men want peace. After 36 years or whatever amount of time, men want peace when we come home. When we come home from a long day, we want peace. We don't want to have to come home and deal with the dragon lady. We don't.
Let's focus on the things we need to do, and then you can go over there. But they're just very close. So it's nothing that they're just very close. And my family, we weren't that way, but I know that they're that way, but they kind of rely on him for a lot. And when he got sick, because he had a stroke about 2 years ago, they were like, well, what happened? That doesn't sound like my brother. Did you do something to him? I mean, they were really just.
Wait, what?
Yeah, his mom said I hit him in the head, and I know you did it. I know you did it. And I was like, are you serious right now? Yeah. So so ever since she said that to me, she's 86 years old. I don't know if she has dementia or what, but I haven't. I did not disrespect her. I didn't cuss her out because I'm taught not to talk to elders like that. But that really hurt me.
Yeah.
And for you, continually, every time they call, you're running over there. You're helping them. You're just. I'm like, okay, so.
When were you over there in Texas?
About 2 months ago.
Okay, so you were over there 2 months ago. And
yeah, we went to the house, and stayed a little bit because we're retired. We don't work, so I was like, let's go down. He was like, well, Liz, we need to go check on the house. I was like, okay, let's go down there and check on the house. Even though his relatives go by there and pick up the mail and stuff like that, we're making our transition. We're trying to sell this house in California, but we went down there for a month. But every day they called, every morning.
Okay, every morning they called, and every morning he went over, right?
Yeah.
And then when he went over, how long was he over there?
All day.
All day. Now, y'all went to the house, and you were over for a month. And he'd be gone all day, right? But let's be honest, Les. Let's be honest. You said before that y'all have not had a great relationship. Y'all really don't even speak for the last 4 years.
Right.
And so if y'all don't speak for the last 4 years, it kind of makes sense why he would leave out in the morning and go somewhere with his family and spend all day over there, because
Okay.
if he doesn't do that, then he's just at the house with you
Yep.
and y'all aren't
Right.
really speaking.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of times men will do this. A lot of times men will go to work and they will do overtime. They will pick up extra shifts. They will leave work and just sit in their car to avoid going home. In the 80s and 90s, they
See, a lot of times, guys, they work so much. They might work 2 jobs. They might work overtime. Maybe you might work 3 jobs, but you work so much to have a legitimate excuse not to be in the house. See, we saw this a lot with COVID, where couples were forced to be together, and they did not get along because they didn't even like each other. They couldn't stand each other. They couldn't even get along. They probably had some communication issues, like her and her husband do. They probably, never even bothered to work on their marriage, or have even a friendship kind of level in their relationship. The guys will purposely try to do stuff to be out the house, so it's less time that he has to be around a dragon lady and just deal with her wrath. Guys will come home. They will either sit in the car around the corner from the house, and sit in the driveway, and then just decompress to get a moment of silence before he walks to the door, and just hear rah 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 as soon as he come home through the door. Nobody want to deal with that. Maybe that's also part of the reason why he was so quick to go to his mother's house, so quick to go to his family, so quick to go somewhere where he has peace, where people could talk to him like a decent human being, people treat him with respect. Maybe that's why, ma'am, you very likely need therapy. You need some therapy.
They used to just go to bars and just they would hang out. They would do anything not to come home to their wives because their relationship was not good. And so you're saying, well, we haven't really spoken in the last 4 years. Now, 2 months ago, we go to Texas and he's gone all day. He's going to be gone all day.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because in his eyes, it's like, well, if I'm here, we're not really talking anyway. Right.
Yes, sir.
And to be honest, Liz, if you guys are not going to talk in California,
yes, sir,
in his eyes, y'all might as well move to Texas because it's way cheaper in Texas.
Yep.
Like if we're not going to talk, shit, we might as well live in the cheapest place available. Right now, of course, for you might not want to stay in a relationship where you're not really talking to your spouse. That doesn't seem like a healthy relationship. So I can understand a big part of, you kind of wanting to get out, especially if you say you're not happy. But that's the whole thing about marriage, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
People think marriage is
for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health. For better, for worse, ma'am. You just want to just leave because you're not happy. I'm sorry. Every day ain't gonna be peaches and cream. Every situation is not gonna be a happy one. You got to work through it. You've been doing this for 36 years. Why now? Simply because you don't want to move to Texas? This is a breaking point. This is a straw that broke the camel's back. This right here, a calculated move to a cheaper city, to a cheaper cost of living. That's now the point where you want to file for divorce. And I understand that she's got tears, she's emotional. Ma'am, go sit down with somebody and have therapy, and then talk to your husband. Have a conversation with him and apologize. Apologize for what you have put this man through. Apologize for disrespecting him. Apologize for nagging him. Apologize for just straight up complaining about something that you yourself know is a logical choice, but you still want to disagree with him with. Apologize to your husband. Move forward and communicate with one another. Let him lead you. Let him take care of you. That's what he's been doing.
Is this, for richer and for poorer, sickness and in health? They don't really see the happiness component. But Lizzie wants to be happy, right? And you don't want to live in a relationship like this that's gonna, keep going on. So, you mentioned that you were gifted the house and that y'all are living in now. Do you not have a mortgage on it or anything?
Yeah, we were gifted. My mother gave it. We have a mortgage on it. We have a mortgage on it.
But it's not too much. Y'all can still make those payments.
Yeah, we're making those payments, and then he's retired military, so he used the VA to get the house in Texas. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
No,
so it maybe it's just me. I mean, I just I don't know. I just wanted another opinion. I might be selfish because I have most things that women want. I have a good man. I have a man that doesn't talk to me crazy, but he does shut down. And that's been a problem ever since we've been married. He doesn't like to argue. He doesn't say very much. He'll just shut down. And I think he's just shut down and I've just shut down. So I think what you suggested is some marriage counseling might help because,
yeah. I mean,
because
y'all might be able to get this back on track, especially if it's a good man.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, Lizzie, I was married for 10 years, and then I divorced in the middle of about 2015, 2016, somewhere around there.
Mhm.
And I got back out on after 10 years, I got out on this dating scene, and I hadn't been married nearly as long as you have, but the dating scene had changed, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And
yeah.
so, if you do get divorced, if you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life, you're going to need to go out here on the dating scene and
Oh
date.
no.
Yeah, dating is
No, I'm
tough.
good. I'm good.
You're good?
You good? All right. Sit your ass down. Stay with your husband. Go get some therapy. Go get some counseling. Fight for your marriage. Take your ass down to Texas and sit down somewhere, lady. Let your husband take care of you. Stop all this arguing. Stop all this yelling. Stop all this complaining. All this, all this rah rah. That's why he's shutting down, because he's getting sick and tired of you always complaining every time he wants to make a move that makes logical sense for the family. Go on, sit your ass down in Texas somewhere. Apologize to your husband and just live out the rest of your days together. You don't want to live by yourself. You don't want to buy a dog and die alone out here, ma'am. I'm telling you, this dating scene out here is ridiculous. Especially you want to stay in the state of California. That's your plan. No, don't do that, ma'am. Don't do it. It'll probably be the worst decision you will make in your life.
They're good. Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, these men are not like Jimmy. And from what my kids say, I have one 33 and 27. They're like, "Mama, it's changed. It's not the same thing." Because I asked them why I haven't got any grandkids and what's going on. They told me, "Mom, it's not the same." And they explained it to me what's going on. And then I kind of watched the movie and saw everybody. All they doing is out here bumping bodies, and that's not me. And now I see why older women don't get remarried. I see why, but
Mhm.
uh, you know, being alone is okay. Get a guy and rotate them both, but it'll be okay.
What?
You come on Thursday, you come on Friday. Why are you here? It's not your day. We can do that. I just yeah, you rotate them both. Yeah,
we gotta
have the thug come on Thursday and have the business guy come on Tuesday. You have to have the opposite.
Leave to come in on a Tuesday.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you come on Tuesday because I know you got to work, and then have the thug come on the weekend because he's gonna lay around. But you gotta leave by Saturday. Get up off my couch. Why are you laying here? Did you bring some beans or greens? Did you bring something to the door? I'm just messing. But I appreciate you.
No
and
problem.
I thank you for giving me the insight. And I'm gonna work on me because I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna reach out to we have military insurance. I'm gonna reach out to Behavior and get us a counseling session.
I think that's awesome. I think
Yeah,
that's awesome.
because like my kids said, you put the whole thing, ladies, is you put your life in your husband, and then you have kids, and you put your whole life in your kids, and then when they're grown and your husband's retired, all you have is you. And
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
maybe I gave up too much, and now I don't have my own.
Well, it's
thing.
tough, but I think with counseling, you guys still have some hope.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
always that. So shout out to you, Miss Lizzie. Thank you so much for coming up. Shout out, somebody put Lizzie in the chat, man. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
So, fellas, let this be a lesson to you. Sometimes, no matter what you do, your woman just wants to argue. But if you see signs of this early on, it is not worth investing in, because you will not live a peaceful life. you probably won't even live a happy life because you're always arguing. She's always trying to rah-rah, always trying to argue with you, always wants to complain about something, especially when she knows it makes logical sense after she gets past her emotions. So you got to pay attention to stuff like that because, again, the person who you choose to marry is the most important decision you will ever make in your life. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I want to know what you think about this story. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.